afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome to our Box Crate unboxing video, kindly sponsored by Box Crate. Now, if you've never come across Box Crate before, or indeed similar kind of box stuff, here's roughly how it works, which is, what you do is you pay up front to a company like Box Crate or whatever, but mainly Box Crate. Let's talk about Box Crate today, because it's all about the Box Crate. You pay them up front, and then after you've paid them, they send you a box of stuff that's like stuff, which may or may not be relevant to your interests, and of course for the business to work, they have to be charging you more than the stuff is actually worth. Now, that may not sound like a particularly good idea, but then what I discovered is, and the lovely people at Box Crate told me this, they're willing to give me some of that extra money. So now I'm pretty on board with it. So, let's do an unboxing of Box Crate. So, first things first, checks out, Box Crate is indeed a box, and there's a crate too. Yep, so, we've got some... we've got some lovely stuff in here, I'm sure. So, first up, we have got this lovely little model here. Actually, this is quite nice. This is a little 3D model of the sign from New Vegas. Welcome to fabulous New Vegas there. So that's actually, that's quite nice. It's quite light. It's not kind of like made of like a heavy metal or anything. So that there, I would say, is actually a nice little thing. That is a nice little model. Now here's something I haven't bloody seen in a while. It's a flipping floppy disk. Hang on, there's probably like a notebook that explains what all these are. Hang on. So as it turns out, this is something actually quite special, which is on here is, and I never thought I'd actually get to see this again, because I used to have this on my old ColecoVision, which some of you may know that I had when I was a kid growing up. That was like my very first game console, was a ColecoVision. But this is actually a copy of one of the games I had for that, which was Amazing Mazes, and that's amazing spelled with an I, which was an odd decision, because amazing with an I, like not the I at the end, like an I in the middle, like maze as in like this thing that's really good in New Vegas in hardcore mode, and I don't know quite why. To be honest, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, because there was no maze in Amazing Mazes. It was just a maze that was amazing. So, like, it makes sense in that regard. Like, it would have worked if it was just Amazing Mazes, but it was amazing as in, like, maybe there was... Okay, fine, I think I do need to figure out a way to play this. In fact, I think I've actually still got one of my old computers in the back of my cupboard that might actually still have a flipping floppy drive on it. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome to Amazing Mazes. I genuinely thought I'd never get to see this game again. I genuinely didn't, because yeah, this was a game. This is actually a really important, interesting milestone. Like, I understand why they've included it. This is actually a really important milestone in the history of gaming, because this was actually pretty much the first, like, proper 3D game. Like, a lot of people think that was actually the Wolfenstein franchise. It wasn't. The Wolfenstein franchise was basically built out of this. This was effectively a tech demo, if you like, because, you know, there's not really any shooting or whatever, but nonetheless, I think it's still a really, really important part of gaming. And then, a boulder. Flipping boulders always get you turned up. Don't worry, we'll be able to find another boulder soon. So basically, this is Amazing Mazes with an I for some. Maybe there's maze in the maze. I don't know, there is stuff in the maze, like there's the boulder. Okay, fine, we're back at the right web now, this is good. Yes, basically, I'm just in a maze, and right now, I'm just trying to fight... Oh, there's the rat! There's the rat, there's a rat in the maze too, don't worry. The rat is... I think the rat's supposed to be a bad guy, but, there's no collision detection on the rat, so you don't need to worry about him so much. Yes, this was Amazing Mazes, and basically, this is the maze that taught you how to solve mazes, which is, I'm basically right now doing the one strategy you always want... Oh, bloody boulders, I always run to the bloody boulders. I'll find another one in a second. Basically, I'm just doing the one thing that you always wanted to do, which was basically you wanted to, keep turning left. The way you solve a maze if you get stuck in a maze is you always take the same turning, which means eventually you will always find your way out of the maze because you'll explore the whole thing. I think there's like an exception, like a particular type of maze. Like I swear I read this once, like a particular type of maze. You can't do it that way, but whatever. But yes, this is a game with... Oh, there's the rat again, yep. So this is actually a game which is, well... It kind of has a lot of firsts, which is one, it's kind of one of the first proper 3D games that ever existed. I think this was 1987, if I recall correctly. This was one of the first 3D games that ever existed. It had Easter eggs. Like, you weren't just trying to get to the edge of the maze, there was stuff in the maze, like, there was the rat, and there were the boulders, and, like, the game was basically wise to the fact that you do always turn the same direction, which is why the boulders were there, to confuse you. So, like, after you hit the boulders, and there we are, I have found the end of the level. Lovely. You'll also notice, by the way, you'll probably recognise the little Microsoft symbol there. This was actually a partnership between Microsoft and Atari, a very, very rare one, but... You know, they put their heads together in 1987, and this is what they came up with. And honestly, like, it is the framework and the foundation on which basically all future gaming was built. Like, I understand why it wasn't really ported forward and why you don't find it in, for example, like, you know, Steam today. It's because there's not much of a game. Oh, there's the rat. I like the rat. I feel like the rat ought to hurt you. Maybe the rat does hurt you. Maybe I just don't know. But yeah, it's got procedural generation. Before that was cool. It's got Easter eggs before they were even invented. It's got, like, proper 3D architecture years before anyone else would do it. It's just it's a classic, and I'm enjoying playing it right now. I just enjoy, like, you know, going into every little nook and cranny. That's why I want to go into every little bit. I'm just kind of reliving my youth here. It's like digging around there, and this is probably, yeah, that was a dead end. I probably should have seen that one coming, to be perfectly honest. But that's fine. That's 100% fine. Obviously, you know, I'm doing it the other way, this way, which is I'm basically taking every right turn. It doesn't matter. You can do, like, every left or every right. As long as you don't change halfway through the maze. If you do that, then things are going to go wrong. And you see that? That was a transparency effect. Do you know how many years after this game it would be before we got another transparency effect? Absolutely incredible. And it's running like a dream, too. I think it's quite frankly impressive. This thing runs at 1080p, 30 FPS. I mean, it would be nice if it ran at 60, but I think we can probably do without, to be honest. Next up, we've got something quite nice as well, which is we have actually got ourselves a proper little Thunderbird 2 model. It's one of the actual proper old-fashioned, like, die-casty type one, so it's actually kind of nice and almost, like, metallic-y. It's very good. I wonder if it's still got, like, all the... This is like the original bits, because the original bits actually had, like, a working bit. Just like, yeah, you could get the note down, and then the 2 legs down. Yeah. So we get the legs down here. Hang on, let's pop that down. And indeed, just like on the original models, if you just kind of hit the thing at the back... then indeed, yes, we do actually have... Oh, and it's the proper little pod. It's the proper little pod that actually comes out. So now, if we open this up here, we get... It's not... It's a Fury. It's a tiny little... I think it's a little Warhammer Fury. It's not how International Rescue really... Alright, you know what? Maybe International Rescue changed with the times. I think there was a new Thunderbird at some point, and, like, they might have changed some stuff. Maybe it wasn't Gordon anymore. Maybe it was a Fury. I mean, in all fairness, like, you know, Thunderbird 4 was always a little bit on the situational side. In many ways, like, you know, there'll be plenty of times where you wouldn't actually need, like, the underwater capacity of Thunderbird 4. And in, like, all those situations, maybe you needed a Fury more than you needed Thunderbird 4. I guess kind of makes sense. Next up, we've got another game, and oh no. Oh, it's Advance Wars Dark Conflict, bloody hell, or Days of Ruin for in the US. This was just, oh god, no. Right, this was basically the worst sequel that's ever been made. And to be a disappointing sequel to Advance Wars after we already had Dual Strike, and Dual Strike was good. Dual Strike was a good Advance Wars game. The only problem was it just kind of broke the game. So if you teamed up Eagle and Sammy, then if you got within about, I think it's 20 squares of an unprotected headquarters, you would auto-win the game with your Dual Strike, which was bloody annoying. But this was garbage. I'm not surprised at giving this away for free. Quite frankly, we're lucky Nintendo hasn't taken all the surviving copies and buried them in the desert next to E.T. That's how bloody embarrassing this game was. I mean, for goodness. Just absolute, utter flipping good. Okay. Well, it is better than Days of Ruin, yes. Okay, this next bit's a bit odd, because it kind of feels like the box crate box. There's a box crate in the box. Wait, hang on. Just get this back out of the way. So hang on. If that's a box crate, inside the box crate, then inside that there's but then hang on, that's inside that one there's the bloody hell? I've gone down like 8 levels and I can't find any end in sight. You know what? We're just gonna go over there. That's fine. Right, next up we've got a little pin. You often find these things in kind of boxes like this. We've just got this little pin here, which is N3, N to the power of 3. So it's probably the most disappointing bit of the box, really. So it's just N to the 3rd. So I don't really know what N to the 3rd is. It's just, I don't know, it's just rubbish or something. So yeah, there's just an end. It's probably like a reference to Buffy the Vampire Slayer or something. I don't know. This is a bit of an interesting one, not exactly necessarily kind of fitting the tone of the box in many ways, but it will actually kind of work at least insofar as it's actually kind of, you know, kind of useful. So we've actually got an aluminium can here, so this may kind of be like a reference to like Fallout 4, so like, you know, it's an aluminium can, aluminium's really useful in Fallout 4 I guess, so we've got kind of that, so we got like one of them, and there's a second one actually, we've got a second aluminium, oh sorry, no. It was not an aluminium can. This one's actually been deionized, so it's actually aluminum. Scrumpled up notes. Hang on. We've got to put up a note here. Torn it. Never mind. Hang on. I know what you did last August. That's really nice of the Box Crate people. I don't know how they knew that. Yes, thank you, Box Crate. I did actually have a lovely time in Rome. That was a really nice holiday. And then finally, the final thing here, we've got ourselves just a little book here. It's a bit on the dusty side. It's actually extremely dusty. It's very, very odd. Hang on, let's see if we got anything. It's actually Latin. That's actually kind of surprising. I have not seen Latin for a long time. No, you know, I studied classics back in there. Hang on, we've got some actual Latin here, which I'll now read out loud for no well-explained reason. Because, yeah, it's Latin in a dusty old book. What have we got here? Caecilius est pater, Caecilius est in tablino, Clemens est servus, Clemens est in horto. Blimey. Right, that's it. Ooh. Oh. Excuse me just a second. So, a small update, the ceiling has just started dripping blood, as have I, from my nose, and also eyes, and several other holes on my face. So I'm going to wrap this up here, but despite that, I would like to say this has actually been a really, really good box. I've really enjoyed this. I'd give it a 9 out of 10, so thank you, Box Crate, for very generously sending this box through to me. I've had a lovely time opening it. I should probably go and have a shower now and call a priest. In many ways, like, maybe don't read the book. Like, if you don't read the book, I think, like, you know, it would be a 10 out of 10. But even with the book, I'd still say it's a really solid... Sorry, there's a lot of blood in my nostrils right now. It's still a really, really solid 9 out of 10. I've had an absolutely lovely time. I would thoroughly recommend it. Obviously, link through to Box Crate in the description below. Please do use my affiliate link, otherwise I don't get any money for any of what's happening right now. I don't really think I deserve it under the current circumstances. 10% off your first box if you enter the code John is a sellout at checkout. So please do that as well. That's how they know I sent you. So yes, thank you all so very, very much for joining me on this lovely adventure. I do hope you check out Box Crate. It's a really, really great service. Absolutely 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 if it weren't for the blood dripping from literally everywhere right now. But yes, hopefully we will be able to continue this partnership with Box Crate going forward, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, I've been John, this has been Many a True Nerd, and this has been the absolutely, definitely worth buying Box Crate. Thank you very much, and goodbye.